Children are like little recording machines. They don't just hear our words, they store them, they replay them.
And because they don't know the answer yet, they look at the people they trust the most, us.
You are so careless because your words don't just shape your child's day. The voice inside your head talks to you all day. When you make a mistake, it says something. When you forget something, it says something. When something doesn't go your way, it says something. So when you make a mistake, what does that voice say? Does it say it's okay, everyone make mistakes, try again? Or does it say what is wrong with you? You always mess things up. You can never do anything properly. Pause for a moment and think about it. Because here's something most people don't realize. The voice was not born with you. Somewhere along the way, someone gave it to you. Maybe your parents, your teachers, your grandparents, someone whose words you heard again and again. And today, whether you realize it or not, you are becoming that voice for your child. The way you speak to your child today slowly becomes the way they speak to themselves tomorrow. When you repeatedly say, "You are so careless," one day your child will drop something and hear, "I am so careless." When you repeatedly say, "You are so lazy," one day they'll struggle with something and hear, "I am lazy." And when you repeatedly say, "You can do hard things," one day when life becomes difficult, that same voice will whisper, "Keep going, you can do this." That's why this conversation matters so much because your words don't just shape your child's day, they shape the voice they carry inside them for the rest of their life. This video is not about becoming a perfect parent. There is no perfect parent. Every parent loses patience. Every parent says things they wish they could take back. This video is not about guilt. It is about awareness. Because once we become aware, we can start making small changes that can create a huge difference. See, young children are still trying to answer one very important question: who am I? And because they don't know the answer yet, they look at the people they trust the most, us, their parents. They borrow their understanding of themselves from us. If a child repeatedly hears, "You are kind," they begin to see themselves as kind souls. If they repeatedly hear, "You are capable," they begin to see themselves as capable. And if they repeatedly hear, "You are difficult," "You are impossible," "You are good for nothing," they slowly begin to believe those things too. Children are like little recording machines. They don't just hear our words, they store them, they replay them, sometimes years later. Think about your own childhood. I'm sure there are sentences you can still remember today. Maybe someone told you, "You are very intelligent." Maybe someone said, "You will never do anything properly." Maybe someone constantly compared you to your sibling. Maybe someone always reminded you that you were not responsible and dependable. Notice something. Many of those sentences are still lying inside you today. You have grown up, but those words are still with you. In fact, many adults today are spending thousands of rupees on therapy trying to remove sentences that were given to them for free in childhood. Now, here's why many loving parents unknowingly make a mistake. We often confuse behavior with identity, and that distinction changes everything. Let's say your child leaves their school bag in the middle of the room. You could say, "Leaving your bag is carelessness." Or you could say, "You are so careless." The first sentence is talking about their behavior. The second sentence is talking about their identity. One says, "You made a mistake by leaving your bag in the middle." The other says, "You are the mistake." Now, can you feel the difference? Behavior can change, but identity becomes a belief. Let's take another example. Your child lies. You can say, "What you said was not true and we need to talk about it." Or you can say, "You are a liar." Now, the first one addresses the action, the other becomes a label. And labels are powerful because children start acting according to the labels they believe about themselves. A child who believes they are lazy often stops trying. A child who believes they are naughty start giving you trouble. A child who believes they are incapable may stop taking risks together. The label becomes the lens through which they see themselves. That's why I want every parent watching this to become conscious of the labels that are casually used at home. Like drama queen, you are a crybaby, you are lazy, you are stubborn, you are good for nothing, you are useless, you are hopeless. Many times we say these words in frustration. Sometimes we even say them jokingly, but children rarely hear them as a joke. Children take their parents' words seriously, very seriously. Every repeated label becomes a brick, and brick by brick, a belief gets built inside the child's mind. So, I once spoke to an adult who looked successful by every measure. He had a good career, respect from people, financially stable, a loving family. But inside, he constantly felt like he was not enough. Every achievement felt small to him. Every success felt temporary. And as we talked, one sentence appeared again and again, a sentence he had heard throughout his childhood: "You will never achieve success." His father had repeated it for years. Now, was it true? No, he was successful, but his mind believed what his father said repeatedly. That's why the words matter so much. Now, the good news is that you don't need to completely transform your parenting overnight. Sometimes a few small shifts are enough. So, the first simple shift is correct the action, not the child. So, instead of saying you are rude, try saying, "Bacha, the way you spoke right now was rude." Instead of saying you are lazy, you can try saying, "I notice you are finding it hard to get started." Instead of saying you are irresponsible, try saying you forgot your responsibility today. Notice what happens. The child feels accountable, but they don't feel attacked. The second shift is to become intentional about the identities you are building. Most parents correct intentionally but praise accidentally. Now let's reverse that. Tell your child you are someone who keeps trying. You are thoughtful, you are kind, you are brave, you are learning, you are growing, you care about people, you don't give up easily. Because children believe what gets repeated. So repeat the things you want them to carry into their adulthood. Imagine your child at 25 years old. Life is hard because it's not a bed of roses. Sometimes things doesn't work out and a voice inside them starts speaking. What would you want that voice to say? Would you want it to say, "It's okay, you can figure it out, mistakes happen, try again, you're stronger than you think"? Then start planning those sentences today because one day that voice will belong to them. And now let's talk about something every parent needs to hear. You will make mistakes, you will get tired, you will get overwhelmed, you will lose your temper, and one day you will say something you regret. That doesn't make you a bad parent. What matters is what happens next. Repair. Go back, sit beside your child and say, "Beta, I was angry. I said something that wasn't true about you. I am really sorry." That one sentence is incredibly powerful because it teaches your child that a hard moment does not define who they are. It teaches them that relationships can heal. It teaches them that the mistakes can be repaired. And it teaches them how to apologize when they hurt someone else. Before I end, I want you to remember one thing. Your child is always listening, even when it looks like they are not, even when they are rolling their eyes, even when they are looking out of the window, even when they are pretending not to care. They are listening. And every single day, they are collecting clues about who they are. The words you use today are not just for today. You are helping create the voice that will sit beside them for the next 50, 60, or maybe 70 years. One day they will fail at something. One day they will face rejection. One day they will experience a heartbreak. One day life will knock them down. And in that moment, a voice inside them will start speaking. The question is, will that voice sound like criticism or compassion? Will it say you are useless or will it say it's okay, get up and try again? Because that voice is being built right now by you. At the dinner table, during homework, on the way to school, in ordinary conversations, in ordinary moments, one sentence at a time, one day at a time. So choose your words carefully, not because children are fragile, but because your words are powerful. Long after your child stops holding your hand, they will still be carrying your voice. So make your voice a kind one, a hopeful one. Make it a voice that helps them stand back up when life knocks them down. Because that may be one of the greatest gifts a parent can ever give. And before you leave, I'd love to hear from you. What is that one sentence from your childhood that still lives inside your head today? It could be a beautiful sentence or a painful one. Share it in the comments. Let's talk about it together.